So Jeepers Creepers Reborn. Just saw it earlier today. And let me preface this with this. I've never been a huge fan of this franchise. I love the first Jeepers Creepers. Always have, loved it since it first came out. I always liked the second one. Upon the last rewatch, when I did all three of these in anticipation of this movie, I was getting fucking bored to tears near the end of it. And there's just so much stupid shit in the second one. It's still watchable, but I don't really enjoy it that much or love it or like it really. So the first film was really the only one in this franchise that I absolutely adore. The third movie was a fucking shit show. Abysmal. So bad. That movie was terrible. And I said in the video for that, I think it was a fucking scam. They released it in theaters for 2 days, just like with this one. Isn't Reborn only out for a few days in select theaters, and then that's it? The third one felt like a sci-fi movie. That they said, shit, our movie blows. How are we going to get people to, how are we going to make money off this? All right, let's just do a 2-night special screening and get as many people as we can, recoup any fucking money that we can that we spent on this piece of shit, and that'll be it. Then we got the trailer for Reborn and the news for that. It's going to be a reboot, and it's going to be separate from the 3 trilogy of movies of the original and stuff. And expectations were not high at all. Completely low. Especially after seeing the third one, which I put off for ever since it came out. I just saw the third one a month and a half ago, whenever I did the video for that. I put it off since it came out because of just hearing how terrible it was. And I gotta stop fucking not listening to my gut reaction and watching new releases and franchises that I either love or are decent when I hear that they're terrible for years and then finally cave in and watch it. I gotta stop doing that. But let's get into this one because this movie is fucking abysmal. This movie is terrible too. This is the end for Jeepers Creepers. Stick a fork in it. I made a little short earlier today just with my initial thoughts on it. Terrible. I don't even know if I can say worse or better than the third one. It's just as bad. If not, maybe worse. In certain aspects. In other aspects, it might be a little better for me. But all in all, this movie's fucking terrible, man. And Timo Waransola directed. Never heard of him. If anything, I was thinking too that maybe it's just the same guy who directed the first three. I forget his name. And just use a pseudonym. Just continue this franchise somehow. Because with how bad 3 was with him doing it, and now this new guy directing this and how bad this was, I wouldn't be surprised if it was the same fucking guy. He just made up a fucking name, persona and shit to not get any fucking hate back for how bad this movie is too. But then we have the opening with the truck and the license plate game, and the old couple sees the creeper throwing a body down the chute, and yeah, you can argue homage to the first movie. I call it fucking lazy. That's lazy as shit. The same shit as the first movie. Like I said, call it an homage all you want. It's fucking lazy writing. Sorry. Just rehashing everything from the first movie that we've seen before. We don't really care. And yeah, it's a reboot. But this movie goes in a direction that just has nothing to do with any of the other movies. So I don't even know what to call this. A remake, a reboot, a soft reboot would probably be the best term for it. But then it flashes forward, I don't even remember how long. And we have Lane and Jason, who are a couple, and Lane is pregnant, and Jason doesn't know, and Jason is expecting, is going to propose to Lane, and she doesn't know. And that might be one of the only saving graces for me for this movie that puts it over 3. Is Lane and Jason's characters. Did nothing great. The acting's alright by them. But I do enjoy the characters a little bit. Which is one of the few positives I can give this movie at all. And they are much better characters than the girl and her little crush or whatever from the third one. Like 100%, I'll give it that. Like, they weren't even interesting. And the third one, the main characters, like, watching. Like, at least these two have some type of dynamic together. That's some of their dialogues, just something that is at least redeemable a little bit. That at least you can get through it. But you can, like, suffer through it a bit. Like, it's not like suffer through. Like, they have some moments that I did like with conversations between them. Like at the beginning, when they're discussing like cryptids and everything. Like I've always loved cryptids and conspiracy theories, and they're going off on that whole subject and debating it from a conspiracy theory point of view versus like a realist and scientific point of view from Lane's perspective. And that's cool. I don't mind any of that. That's like kind of like where everything goes fucking horribly wrong. Then they mention the 3 other movies like as a meta gag. That's so fucking dumb. Like, really? Like, he's obsessed with the Creeper, Jason, and this local legend of the Creeper, and they bring it up, and he just says, like, she says, isn't there a movie made about it? And he's like, yeah, 3, but like, and I didn't even hear what he said after that. But the right thing to have said is, yeah, 3, but like, only the first one was good, the rest were terrible. That would have been a great little meta fucking gag. Throw that in there. Fucking just shit on the past movie as much as possible. So, man, that third movie, though, that they made, people hated that shit. They fucking gave up on the whole Creeper legend until now, when it's reborn and re-dies fucking like 25 minutes into this movie. Lost my fucking breath. And the Creeper looks fucking awful in this movie. I do not like the look at all of the Creeper. Like, he looked terrible in the third one, too. Not like crazy, like terrible or like egregiously bad, but like the first movie's look of the Creepers, my favorite. He looks good in the second one too. Third one, he does not look good. This one, he does not look good at all. And you can tell in this movie, just like the third one, it's so cheap looking, it looked like a fucking sci-fi movie. Same with the third one. Like I would not be surprised. Like, I'll fucking even make a bet here. Fucking in the next month or 2, you'll see this on Sci-Fi. Possibly. Like, I'm not going to commit to it, but I can absolutely see this movie being played on Sci-Fi within the next few months. Like 100%. Like, even if they did all 4 movies, like a marathon or something, this will be on Sci-Fi at some point because it absolutely belongs there. This should have never been released in theaters. Same with the third movie. Should have never been released in theaters. And you can tell, this has a 2.9 rating on IMDb as of this morning when I checked. That's about accurate. Like, that's pretty much accurate. I'm not one of those people who would ever really give a movie a 1 or a 10. Like, unless like it's a few movies that I've said on here that I consider perfect and stuff like that. Very few that would get a 10. And like hardly any that would get a 1. Like maybe like I'd have to like really think back on like the worst movies I've ever seen. But even then, like I wouldn't give it a 1. But 2.9 sounds right about right. Maybe should be even like a little lower, like 2.5. Which I'm sure it'll reach because this movie is not going to be catching on with many people. And now we're going to have to worry about some special White Crow now, aren't we? This is just like my order of thoughts as watching this. They have the White Crow thing. Now that's going to be a thing, I guess. And then we get more Visions bullshit, which, again, like I said this in 3. Like, why does every movie in this fucking franchise have to have like a psychic or like Vision lady or anything like that? It works in the first one. Having Giselle there, she's a great character. And just it works for the movie. In the second one, when the fucking cheerleader just all of a sudden just starts getting visions for no reason, is so fucking dumb. Then we have the whole hand thing in the third one, which was egregiously fucking stupid. And now we have Lane just starts getting visions, right? For some reason, I don't know why. Fucking it's so stupid. Then they go into that voodoo shop and they're looking for the hotel where they're staying, like the address. They can't find it on the GPS. And this bitch gives a fucking map to them, shows where they are, where they're trying to go is, gives her directions. Says, go on the highway, go like 5 miles, make a left, and then like look for the signs. Like, so almost identical to that. Like, even I remembered the directions for the most part from all the way from this morning. And then this bitch charges them $50 for that map. Are you kidding me? Like, and he pays it. Like, why? Like, why would you buy that? Just give it back. Just say, no, I'm good. Like, you told me the directions already. You kind of fucked yourself on the sale. And just throw the fucking map back at her. I paid $50 for a fucking antique map. She said, oh, it's an antique. Fuck you. Your directions aren't. Like, you gave them very, very freshly. Like, they're fresh in my mind. I can remember how to get there. Just repeat those directions again one more time so we got it, like, real clear. And then walk out. Paid $50 for a fucking antique map that they'll never need again. Like, are they ever coming to this place again? No? So they don't need this map at all. Come on. It's nitpicking, but so fucking stupid. Then I mentioned that. And then just the whole cosplay costume scene where her switching into all the cosplay costumes. Just why? Like, none of this has to be here, like, at all. Like, man, this is like an hour and 20-minute movie. Thank fucking God, man, because they could have milked it and went longer, like with 2, and thank God they didn't. Now we're at a fucking horror rave festival. Is where we're going with this now. We're at Horror Hound Festival. It's like a big horror convention that plays fucking rave music and all sorts of weird shit. And then we have that scene with the Sharp Attack booth that they go up to. And Jason's all into this shit. He fucking loves all these, he loves horror. He loves all these fucking conspiracy theories and legends. And like, she's not really into this shit at all. Like, she's into it really more just because he is. But they go up to this carny, for lack of a better term, and play the game of throwing the fucking ninja stars that the creeper uses and try to get it on a human target. And then she tries it out, and the guy's teaching her how to throw it. And who didn't see that coming into play at the end of this movie? Like, that was such obvious foreshadowing. Like, just more stupidity that didn't need to be there, like, at all. Like, the whole premise for this movie is fucking stupid. Like, the whole fucking idea for this, the whole script, I don't know how this got greenlit. I really don't. Like, or ended up in the theater. I could see it getting greenlit. Like, have you seen some of the movies that get greenlit? Like throughout history of film, I could see it getting made. I can't see how this made it into theaters. I really can't. And then please tell me they're not going in a creeper cult direction. They fucking hinted that shit. Then they have the creeper draw. And it's funny as shit. Mike, if you see this, you fucking called it, man. When I did my video on 3, when I was talking about the truck and everything and all the bullshit with that and all these fucking weapons and shit that we've never seen before, that was just ridiculous. Mike made a comment and said, it's Jeepers Creepers 4, Escape Room. And I had to tell him earlier. I was like, yo, you have no idea how fucking scarily close you were with that comment. Because they win this creeper draw, and they were like rigged to win, because apparently the creeper cult wants the fucking baby from, I don't even remember her name, Lane, wants her baby and shit. So the woman who's swindled them out of $50 for that fucking map shows up on stage and does the drawing after she like switches names and tickets out of it and calls Lane's number, and she wins. So 2 people, her and Jason, get to go to this abandoned fucking cemetery with a big ass abandoned house there, and it's a creeper escape room. Like, this is where we're going. This is Reborn. This is the Jeepers Creepers franchise reborn, renewed, in a fucking creeper escape room that we don't even get to see. I would have enjoyed it more if there was an actual escape room. Like, make it like the movie Escape Room, but have it creeper themed and have the creeper fucking kicking off people one by one and shit, just picking them off. I would have enjoyed that more than what we got here, because there's a promise of an escape room. We don't get that fucking escape room, so fuck you just for that. And then only 40 minutes in. Like, and then the Asian chick, like, all of her dialogue is terrible. Everybody's dialogue in this movie is terrible. Like, save for Lane and Jason. Like, if some conversations between them. Just like the third movie. The third movie is even worse. Like, every fucking line was, like, atrocious almost out of that. In that movie. Terrible. And then, God, this is bad. Fucking, like, all fucking as it's going. And then we get the off-screen kill with the camera guy, which is, there's no fucking real kills in this movie. There's, like, hardly any gore. I mean, the franchise isn't, like, built on that or anything. You don't really need, like, on-screen kills and gore in a Jeepers Creepers movie. But something, like, let something happen. Like, nothing happens in this movie. I feel like nothing happens in this movie at all. Like, I feel like the Creeper does nothing. Like, he kills a few people, and he kidnaps Lane, and then he gets fucking impaled in the face. And that's it. Like, that's his fucking reign of terror in this movie. Then just, I laughed during this, just with the whole proposal thing, when she's yelling at Jason about, like, being flirty with the Asian chick, and then he goes to propose, and he just takes the ring out, and he gets on his knees, he's like, Lane, and it's kind of like, will you marry, where'd you go? Like, fucking, she just gets swooped off with the creeper just flies by and grabs her and fucking, like, takes her off. It's like, man, talk about, like, fleeing from a fucking, like, proposal, like, real quick. Like, that's all you people need. If you guys don't want to get married and your significant other is going to fucking propose to you, just make sure you have the creeper, like, around. So that way, as soon as he starts or she starts popping the question, you have something worked out. You do, like, a hand gesture or a fucking, like, put your eyebrows up like this. The creeper comes and he snatches you away, like, right before you got to answer the fucking question. That's a good angle right there. And then the creeper stabs Lane in the stomach, but why? I don't know. Like, it doesn't kill the kid inside her, and I don't know how that helps the cause of the cult that wants the baby for some reason. I don't know. Then, yeah, they're really going in the creeper cult route. Like, that's so bad. And the dialogue in the house, like, when they're all trapped in the house, is so bad between all of them. Like, oh. And then, like, when the blonde Asian chick's, like, blood is falling into her hand, and yeah, it's a little dark in there, but I can see it's blood, you can see it's blood, this bitch can see it's blood, and she just says, the roof's leaking, and that's it, and then blood is pooled up in her hand, and then she looks up, and it's blood! Are you fucking kidding me? Like, oh god, this is so terrible. Like, I'm done with Jeepers Creepers, I'm never watching another one. I say that, I will, but fucking, I don't know why. And now he just stops bullets with his fucking bare hands. Like, he doesn't even need his metallic, stupid axe from the third movie that was so fucking dumb just for the inclusion of that. Now he doesn't even need that. He can just fucking, like, ricochet bullets with his fucking bare hands. And now he has some, like, high-frequency, ear-splitting whistle ability that he can do. That, like, just, like, knocks everybody off of their fucking feet from just holding their fucking ears. That the frequency of the whistle that he's blowing fucks with their ears and makes them, like, incapacitated. When the fuck did this ever happen? Like, come on. I mean, I get it's a remake or a reboot or whatever the hell you want to call it. So, I mean, he doesn't have to adhere to all the rules of the originals, but just adding that as an ability for him is just fucking dumb. Like, why even have that? There's no chases left anymore after this. After having that ability, he doesn't have to hunt anyone down. He just has to, like, creep up on them, whistle, and then fucking just tear them apart. Like, I don't see any way that somebody can get away from this thing if he has this special whistling ability. It's like aliens when they say, oh, they can fucking cause, like, telepathic shit to happen to you to incapacitate you. Like, if you get a fucking alien visitation, like, stories and shit that people always say about that. It's like that. It's like, this guy can just fucking whistle and bring you to your knees. So he should never go hungry again. He should never have a fucked up body part. This creeper should always be at 100% HP. Like, always. Because there's no way that he's losing track of any victim that he's trying to get. What a stupid inclusion. And then, yeah, we didn't see those ninja stars and backup knife coming from Lane. How fucking stupid that is, too. And They say there's no way out of this house. Yeah, there is. Like, there's a bunch of ways out of this house. Like, do you see all the windows? Like, this wasn't a good escape room. Like, even if they got to do the escape room, there are so many windows in this house that just have boards. They're boarded up. Just fucking break the boards off and climb out the window. Like, there are so many windows in this house that just have wooden boards over them. Like, I was counting. Like, as it was going through, I was like, there's one, there's one, there's one, there's another one. Fuck. Like, they had so many options of getting out of this place. But they don't, for the plot's convenience. And this limp dog dick runs straight for a phone, like, in this house, like, knowing the creeper's around, doesn't think it's a trap of any sort. And why does this place have a working phone? This is supposedly like a condemned fucking building that's supposedly haunted, or that the creeper's lair is there and everything, and that nobody goes there. But it has a fucking working phone? Who's paying the fucking phone bill for this place? I assure you the creeper's not. Like, I can guarantee you that. So who's paying the phone bill, and why is there a fucking working phone in this abandoned ass house? I don't know. Did the crew put it there for the escape room? That's the only thing I can think of. And even that is just fucking dumb too. So I'm just going to stick with it. Makes no fucking sense at all. Why is there a phone in there? And, oh God, this movie. I know a lot of it, just like the third movie, and the video for that I did. A lot of it's just saying stupid over and over again, but Jesus Christ, man. They got to just end this. And then the girl, they're not just going to ignore a 911 call. Well, you haven't seen Slumber Party Massacre 3 recently, like I have, because they ignore that shit. They ignore like 3 or 4 911 calls, like in much more of a dire situation than they are in this situation. So watch that movie, Asian Woman, because then you'll understand, yeah, they will ignore 911 calls if they sound absolutely ridiculous. And is he even, I wrote this before, like a scene before it happened. I was like, is he even taking body parts anymore and regenerating? Like, we don't see that shit at all through the whole movie. Then like the next scene was that? Was him with the fucking brain taking out the Asian girl, like, and that's the brain you want? Like this bimbo? Fucking like, if I was the creeper, I'd have much higher standards. I'd be going to fucking like universities and shit like in the area and getting like the smartest professor you can have. So, I don't know how the regeneration thing works, so it doesn't really matter. I don't know if the better the brain, the better the heart, it works better for you and it works that way, or it's just a replacement and it just works like a regular brain would or a heart would, and it's all his thoughts. We have no explanation of any of that in any of the movies. We have no idea what any of that does or works or how it works, any of that, so I can't really comment. But who would want that woman's brain? Especially the creeper. And the music sucks too. Like the Jeepers song that they use, the Jeepers Creepers original song was so perfect for that movie. And then now they just switch it to some other like Jeepers, like check out those peepers or some shit. Whatever it was, it sucked. Fucking like, let's include it. If that's something you don't want to throw away. Like if you're gonna bring in like him listening to music again, keep the fucking original Jeepers Creepers song. Like that's an iconic part of that movie. They change it to something else. I don't know. And then the creeper wants the baby. So then why is he so fucking weak? The creeper, like he's like fighting with like 3 of them at one point, and he's like struggling, man. Like we've seen him just rip the head off of a police officer in the first movie, and just annihilate people left and right. Like this creeper has so much fucking strength. We've seen him fucking decapitate people with his wing. And now he can't like barely take like 2-3 people. They should all have been just massacred like right away. Like I don't know if it's because he just woke up recently. Maybe he has to fucking regenerate more. But no, he just got himself a brand new fucking brain or shit. So he's fine. I don't know why he's not as strong as he used to be. And then never break an ancient demonic entity's phonograph, because it's going to be fucking furious at you. And thank God they broke it, because I couldn't hear that stupid song anymore. And then, yep, ninja stars. Fucking throwing that shit back like we all saw coming. And how do you like these peepers, bitch? Oh, come on. Oh, it's so bad. So bad. And I can't hear stuff like that anymore. Like one of those stupid lines right before like a protagonist or character is about to kill or about to punch or about whatever. The villain, bad guy, and like, take this, you son of a bitch, or like anything like that. I fucking cringe at most of those. There's a few of them that I can deal with, and one I love, and it's because it's my favorite movie of all time. The Thing, when McCready throws the dynamite. Yeah, fuck you too. That's great. Short, sweet, perfect. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. That's another one. This, come on. How do you like those peepers, bitch? It doesn't even make sense. Fucking like, what other peepers is she implying exists? Like, what does any of that mean? Is my point. Stupid. And then see, White Crow and company. And all the crows come around and they apparently can take the creeper away after they impale him from the roof. Which that whole plan is just retarded as it is. And we've seen him. That kills him. Well, assumably it doesn't kill him. It just, the crows take him away. But we saw him get stabbed like 30, 40 times by Ray Wise in Jeepers Creepers 2. And he was still alive. And then finally, just because time ran out of the 23 days, is when he finally just, fucking closed up and fucking, you know what I mean, hibernated for the fucking next 23 years. And then, I don't know if this was just where I was watching this, but Lane's eyes turn black at the end of this. When she gets in the cop car, like her eyes turn all black, like demonic. Is that just me, or where I watched it? Or that's actually there? Because I think that like 99% that's there. And I don't know what the fuck that means at all. And so we have a fucking cult that follows the creeper, and that was the fucking idea that they came up with for this movie. And this is supposed to be like planned for like 2 more movies, like its own trilogy, like the original trilogy. Please don't release the next one. Like, please don't. Like, I beg you. Like, people watching who are involved with this movie, which is no one, but please don't fucking release the rest of these, like, or make them like this series just has to be done. Like, there's just some franchises that just, they're not meant to be long-running franchises. This is one of them. I could have told you that after Jeepers Creepers 2. After that one, that's all you needed. Like, there was nothing more. At this point, and usually I don't like this. Like, when mysterious creatures or killers and stuff, like, I mean, look at Michael Myers and stuff. My first horror movie I ever saw when I was 5, 6 years old. Just the whole idea of Michael being a faceless, nothing, has no emotion, soulless, no motivation, no excitement, nothing. There's just nothing in there, and there's no motivation or no motive for him killing Laurie and Annie and Linda and Bob and all of them and stuff. He's just pure evil. Then they had to ruin that with Halloween 2 and the fucking brother-sister connection, and then the whole Cult of Thorn and shit. It just takes away from the ambiguity, and it takes away from the mystery and just the mystique of these characters. The same with, I was just talking to a friend about this with, that he got to see Terrifier 2 early. And I love the first Terrifier, and I love All Hallows Eve, and I love Art the Clown. Like, I can't think of any other modern slasher villains besides Victor Crowley and Art the Clown. Like, iconic slasher icons. From like the 2000s onwards. There's probably 1 or 2, maybe like The Strangers, but I don't even really consider those movies slasher movies. So I won't even really count those. But Art the Clown and Victor Crowley are like the only 2 major ones that comes to mind. And that same thing with Art. Is like, I don't want that being explained. I don't want him being explained. Please do not go into what he is, or why he kills, or his motives, or his background. None of that. I don't want to fucking know. Like, leave it ambiguous. Leave it a mystery. Because we don't need to know. He's fucking terrifying as he is. He's a great fucking slasher villain as it is. We don't need more information on him. And at this point, though, with fucking Jeepers Creepers, and I used to say the same thing about the Creeper in the first movie and the second one. Don't get into too much of where it's from, what it is, or any of that shit. Like, it's much better with the mystery. Then fucking 3 comes along, and they said, like, for 15 years that 3 was going to answer all the questions, and any questions we had would be answered about what the Creeper is, and why it does what it does, and where it's from, all that bullshit, and none of it happens in the third movie, None of it happens in the third movie, and they even fuck you right to your face by having the Creeper read the sign that they leave saying, "We know what you are," and then not saying a fucking word about it after that. So then we get no answers in there, which I didn't want. At this point, after watching this, I would rather, if there was another Jeepers Creepers movie, if there had to be another one, make it a fucking prequel. Make it a prequel. A prequel that takes place like a few hundred years ago. Actually, because then that would have to be a period piece. There's no way they're pulling that off. So, like, make it just a prequel to the first movie. And maybe explain a little bit about him. Because at this point, I feel like backwards is the only way they can go. Like, obviously, moving forward with ideas for the Creeper is not fucking working well for them. Go backwards. Do a prequel. An origin story. Something. And that's something, like I said, that I usually do not want with characters or creatures like that in a movie or a franchise. I don't see another option. And at this point, I'll take fucking anything. Like, over these last 2 movies, I'll take a prequel or origin story. Tell us finally where the fuck this thing came from, or what it is, or some answers, and just try to make it entertaining. That's like the best hope I have for another Jeepers Creepers movie. Besides that, this movie's terrible. It's just like the third one. Which is worse. There's some things worse in 3, and there's some things worse in this. But the script is terrible in this. The acting is so bad for the most part. Excluding, like, the 2 main leads. They do decent. Decent to good. I'll give it a little more credit. The music is fucking terrible. The Peeper song they picked sucks. The way it looks, the whole cheap look of the movie, the same with the third one, is fucking terrible. Everything. Like, the whole premise for the fucking movie. Awful. Like, and it sucks, and I said this at the end of the video for 3, that I hate seeing movies and fucking not hating, I mean, I don't hate this movie, but, like, disliking it, or not coming out of a movie happy in any way. Like, I despise that. Like, I love movies. I love horror. I've always wanted to enjoy a movie I watch. Especially a new one in a franchise. This was fucking bad, man. It was fucking so bad. But that's enough with how terrible this movie is. Because I'm sure there's hundreds of other people online saying the same shit. Because I can't see this movie being praised by people in any way, shape, or form. Like, at all. Like, I would have a million questions. Like a questionnaire, like a book-sized questionnaire for people to fill out. if they fucking love this movie. And I always say, 100% entitled to your opinion, and love whatever movies you want, and hate whatever movies you want. 100% up to you, and I always respect that for anybody. Just like I love a bunch of movies that are hated by the mass majority. Like, by far. Like Blair Witch 2. I fucking adore that movie. I've said that a million times on this channel. Everyone hates that movie. Like, for the most part. But there'll always be an audience for any movie. Anyone. Anything that you can think of. Think of one of the worst movies you've ever seen. Guarantee there are people out there who love that movie. It's just how it works. Like, it's just everyone has their own different tastes and things that work for them, and sense of humor, or be able to look past certain things, or able to watch a terrible, like, Z-grade movie and still find enjoyment and hysterical laughter out of how fucking terrible it is. Like, it's always going to be different. There's always going to be people who like a certain movie that's hated by most people. And like I said, I don't hate this movie. I don't hate movies, really. I always find a few things, like I always say, good out of it. And God, man, this movie was bad, though. So I'm running low on battery here. Fucking, I'll have 2 more videos up in a few hours, most likely. It's early. So, Jeepers Creepers Reborn, Jeepers Creepers Redice. Take care.